a repeat performance from 2016, Jake Wright proved his road course dominance once again at Watkins Glen. The defending series and race champion led all but 4 laps from the pole en route to a win in the Lionheart Grand Prix at the Glen. Michael Goodman came home second, his best result in the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment. Michael Gray used a late race pass to get around his teammate Dan Guerin and onto the podium. It was an impressive run for Gray, who started 8th and meticulously worked his way through the field. A slew of self-spins and minor bumps were scattered throughout the race, including points leader Andrew Kinsella. But the only major incident happened on lap 1, when Ian Adams lost control and took Jonathan Gogue and Jason Robarge with him. Several others were damaged or slowed by the crash. Wright's second win of the season propelled him to second in points, 5 back of Canadian Andrew Kinsella. Gray moved to third, with Brian Yazik and Goodman rounding out the top 5. Engineered to win, built to last. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information on HPP and the product they offer, visit hppsimulation.com. And for more on the Lionheart IndyCar Series, go to lionheartracingseries.com.
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete that. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
For these drivers, it isn't about the largest purse in Lionheart history, it's about keeping the memory of Dan Weldon alive. Any one of the 42 drivers can win, but to do so they will need speed and determination. Rookies must battle hardened veterans, and all must conquer an assortment of roads and ovals.
On the inside, can he make it stick? He loses momentum. No, he cannot make it stick. Race pulls ahead. There's nothing they touch. The winner is going to be Big Joe. No, it's Stouffer. I called it wrong. He's going to try to close the door out of pit exit, and I think he has to move.
With a history of double-digit winners per season, the challenge will be harder than ever. Which one will ultimately be crowned Lionheart champion? You're watching the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment, the premier American open-wheel championship on iRacing, exclusively on GSRC.
The initial jewel of the LIS Triple Crown must be an emerald to match the green wooded hills and valleys of the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, home to the Tricky Triangle. The Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment, comes to historic Pocono Raceway for the DirtyBlinds.com 300. And from Green Flag to Victory Donuts, all the Triple Crown Double Point Dallara DW12 action can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. From the Keystone State, welcome to Von Hansen's Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, you'll be furnished with all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate round 7 of 24 on the Season 5 calendar, the DirtyBlinds.com 300, that will immediately follow. I'm Bill Soupzon. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Sean Crackers Ambrose. Amjad Yaman is in the director's chair, and Dougie Beard is the camera guru. The Tricky Triangle has been on the menu for each of the previous 4 LIS seasons. The only 2 active drivers to earn Pocono checker flags are last season's winner Jonathan Real Thing Goke and Jake Reich, who won in season 3. Now, Sean, it's fun to be here. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about this place.
Well, Soup, everything on the Countdown to Green show is brought to you thanks to Von Hansen's Meat Market. Since 1983, Von Hansen's has delivered personalized full-service and a friendly, old-fashioned meat market environment. They offer a large and ever-expanding selection of meat products and menu ideas, ranging from casual gatherings to special occasions. For more information, please visit vonhansens.com. Now, let's talk about Pocono Raceway. 1971, the Tricky Triangle arrived on the circuit after California's now defunct Ontario meter, just a year after Ontario Motor Speedway opened. Now, together with the Brickyard, IndyCar then had 3 2.5-mile racetracks, and the Triple Crown was born. From 71 to 89, USAC and CART held races here after a 22-year hiatus. The Verizon IndyCar Series returned in 2013, and has held a race here ever since. Now, each of Pocono's 3 turns are modeled after iconic corners of other racetracks. The old Trenton Speedway in New Jersey, 14 Degrees, Turn 1. My father raced there in a modified many, many years ago. No longer with us is the old Trenton Speedway, but the memory of it remains here at Pocono. Turns 2, about 8 degrees through the tunnel turn, very similar to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then we go to turn 3, 6 degrees, very familiar to the Milwaukee Mile, which you will see here in the IndyCar Lionheart series. So the front straight, about 3,740 feet long, 7/10 of a mile. Woo. Yes, that's right, 7/10 of a mile. But the best way to get an idea what it's like to go around old Pocono Raceway is to jump on board the GSRC DW12 and take a lap.
Hey guys, this is James Krahula in the virtual GSRC DW12, and I'm going to take you for a lap around the virtual Pocono Raceway. Coming down the longest straightaway, we come down into the very tight turn 1. On your qualifying lap, you're going to want to head down as low as you can, but also keep the wheels straight as possible to not scrub off any speed. Out of turn 1, we will head down the Long Pond straightaway, again another very long straightaway here at this racetrack. Heading down here into the tunnel turn, again, you're going to want to head down as low as you can into the corner. Turn 2 here at Pocono was modeled after the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Heading down into turn 3, another tight turn, very low banking down here, but again, you're going to want to head down as low as possible, but keep that wheel straight to not run off any speed because, again, you have the long straightaway. The draft is going to play a major factor here. Look for drivers to get a huge toe coming down here into turn 1, even shifting up into 6th gear. Letting off going into turn 1, look for drivers behind cars to have to let off, possibly running a higher line than they would earlier in the race. The Long Pond straightaway is another great opportunity for passes. Look for drivers to get a good toe off of the driver in front of them. Don't expect to see too much too wide action there in the tunnel turn. Again, turn 3 is going to be especially tricky in traffic. Look for drivers to be running a higher line and definitely having to lift. The exit to turn 3 will be very tricky, so look for a lot of action right here. Then back onto the main straightaway, and there you have your virtual lap at the Pocono Raceway.
Three corners, 2.5 miles, one driver, James Krahula, taking us a lap around Pocono. Joe Peak talking us through it. No, actually, it wasn't. It was James Krahula doing the lap and the vocal over. Nice job from James. Thank you, James. Let's go ahead and take a lap around the point standings. Now, Adrenaline Motorsports' Andrew Kinsella has been out in front the whole season. But what is really fascinating is who's been chasing him. Pierre Nightingale, Ryan Otis, the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray, Brian Yasek, and now Jake Wright have all found themselves in second in the standings trying to run him down. Currently, Jake Wright of No Name Racing is the first driver to double up on checkered flags. They've both been on road courses. Michael Gray of Hashtag Nailed It, that's the top scoring driver for that team, is following Wright up a spot into third. Making room for Wright and Gray to climb up is No Name Racing's Brian Yasek, who falls down into fourth. Joe Branch missed Watkins Glen, so the Adrenaline driver is the Big Dipper, down 8 spots. Now remember, these are the raw numbers, and don't take into account the drop races that the rules allow for. If time permits during yellow flags, we actually can show you those, and we'll try to get those in later on in the race. Let's go ahead and look at the team championships. Good news about the team championships, they don't take into account drop races. Point leader is, of course, No Name Racing, and they were the winner at Watkins Glen. Jake Wright, Pierre Degla, and James Krahula combined for 131 points. Over the last 4 races, the second and third place teams have swapped positions each time. Hashtag nailed it, finished third last time out. 108 points total from Michael Gray, Dan Guerin, and Jonathan Goch to move back into the runner-up spot. Hey, Adrenaline Motorsports had an off race, finishing in 8th, only mustering 75 points from Andrew Kinsella, Tony Schowen, and Michael Peters. So they fall down back into 3rd, but don't give up. They'll be back probably in 2nd next week. AGR hit big in New York, 2 points off the top score. Michael Goodman, Jason Galvin, and George Anzaldo doing the work there. And a little further down the chart, you can see Dragonfly moved around controlled chaos. Sean, what about some other stuff we're looking at?
All right, let's look at the rookie standing suit. A lot of rookies here this season, and Kinsella, of course, at the top right now. A great start to this season for him. Has got him atop the rookie standings. Michael Goodman in striking distance. He's moved up a spot just ahead of Otis. Now we know Otis has missed a race, and Otis still in striking distance there himself. Again, double points this evening, and well, everything could change. Paulson in 4th, up to that position. Jägerliner in 5th. Bolster up to 6th. Collins in 7th. Go all the way back to 10th there. Jared Turnbull up. And Frank Beezer there in 14th suit. Let's look at the manufacturer standings. Let's see how Tesla's doing. All right. I think Tesla's still at the bottom there in 7th. But as you look at the points there, Chevrolet really starting to kind of close in there on Toyota. The gap is really starting to narrow there, Soup. We're still very early in this season. Mazda in 3rd. The Blue Oval sitting there in 4th, but looking over their shoulder at Honda. A lot of Hondas in the field, and they're getting better every week. Now, Mercedes, it's a close battle. They've got a chance here in 6th, and of course Tesla in 7th. Now let's look at the Sim Money standings and see where
I love this
everybody's
one.
at.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah, let's see where Jake Wright's at now. Now Jake Wright has passed Andrew Kinsella in the winnings right now, sitting there with $641,000. Andrew Kinsella $622,000. Now again, he's been overtaken by the success of Jake Wright and Michael Gray, the racing kangaroo there, pretty close with $529,000. And as you go back a little bit farther through the field here, you see Galvin coming up the board here. Galvin's been on a nice run here, a good run here at Pocono. We get him back up to the money, but your Lionheart IndyCar Series Sim Money system is in play, and lots of money being thrown around, Sue.
Just to follow up a little bit of that one, Area 51, they are still in the red, and they continue to fall farther into the hole. But they sell, don't worry, Soup, we got an endless supply of cars. We just keep rolling them out. They keep crashing them. There are some big money, I would think, here, this being a Triple Crown. This is a big chance to be healthy here with a good score. Hey, Sean, let's go ahead and talk about the series details for today.
Well, welcome to the Lionheart IndyCar Series, brought to you by First Medical Equipment in Season 5. Yes, this is round 7 of 24. We do run 16 oval races and 8 road this season in the Dallara DW12, the same one that Fernando Alonso was driving today at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is a customized fixed setup, and what do I mean by customized? Well, I mean the league has participated many hours in trying to come up with a setup that everybody feels good about, feels good racing next to each other. 42 drivers on this roster, Soup. I think all of them are here this evening in the league this season. What's at stake? $1,800 in cash, with the league champion winning $250 plus a set of HPP Vettels valued at $1,250. Total cash and prizes $3,450 this season. Wow. The weather here today on track, 85 degrees. Mostly cloudy, 74 degrees outside. Soup, not a lot of wind. I think if it was a little windier, we may have a little trouble. But today, not very windy. So I think what you're going to see is a lot of fast racing side by side, and drafting being a big issue here. Now let's talk about today's event. 2 lone qualifying laps that they're throwing down right now. 120 laps today, 300 miles. For this Triple Crown event, 100% fuel. We expect about 4 stops. 30 laps on that fuel stint, 30 to 31. The incident cap, 8 incidents. You'll lose 3 championship points. 12 will DQ you from the event and lose championship points, but hopefully that's not the case tonight. No fast repairs, cautions will yield a single file restart every night. The points this evening, that's the big one. This is a Triple Crown race, the first of 3, and everybody gets double points tonight, Sue.
Yeah, now I know if you're watching at home and you're doing the math, if you're figuring 30 to 31 laps per stint, yes, I guess you could do it in 3 stints if you were perfect every time, but I just don't see how that's going to work out. There's going to be one pit stop under a yellow flag, and that throws everything out. So we're expecting 4 stops, the legitimate one. Actually, what it really means, Sean, is we'll just watch for it when we get to about lap 90. That's where the pit will open up for that very last time. Okay, qualifying is just about done, and they're about to go racing. And you know, when it is time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations, designed and manufactured right here in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standards for simulation racing. For more information, please visit www.hppsimulations.com. Okay, let's run down our starting order. On the pole, well, he's won 2 wins. He has 2 wins on road courses, and he's here. This is kind of a road course. That's Jake Wright inside of Dan Guerin.
All right, drop back to row 2. It's going to be Ian Adams and Joe Branch with a great qualifying effort.
Jason Galvin in inside of row 3. Jonathan Goke outside of him.
Row 4 belongs to Michael Goodman and Andrew Kinsella, a couple of rookies there.
The 5th row is made up by the man responsible for doing our lap guy, James Krahula. In 10th position, George Anzaldo.
All right, and Ron Hacker is going to start 11th tonight on row 6 with Brandon Limkeman starting 12th.
Baker's dozen goes to Dave Whammy Barber and Ryan Otis outside of him.
All right, and row 8 is going to start with the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow in 15th, James Paulson 16th.
Chris Lanini and George Adams make up the next row.
Row 10, Christopher and the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray.
Hitting blackjack, it's Matthew Mercer in the double duck spot, Brian Yazik.
All right, row 12, the Big Joe Show, Big Joe Hassert 23rd, Bob Mikas and Devon Hansen's meet, DW12 24th.
Hopefully not the unlucky row 13, made up by Trevor Bassett and Robert Bluin.
Row 14, going to be Rory Collins and Pierre Tegla.
Newcomer, Brian Greenlee, welcome to the series, going to be in the 29th spot, just inside of Michael Peters.
All right, going to go to 31, the 31st spot, Tyler Turnbull, 32nd, Peter Edwards.
Jack Bogan and Jared Turnbull make up 33rd and 34th.
All right, and row 18, Scott Bolster, Eddie Tutwiler.
Tony Schowen and Vincent Blumenthal in row 19.
All right, Soup, row 20, Patrick Taylor, Travis Jagerliner, and the 41st driver in this field tonight, Mitchell Moeller. Soup, we got a full house, baby.
I think we got some onboard cameras. Maybe we can take a second and take a look at who we got tonight.
Yeah, let's go on board first with Peter Edwards. He has got our DirtyBlinds.com onboard camera tonight. Keep an eye on Pete all evening. And then we're going to go to Brandon Limkeman. He's going to be in your first medical equipment onboard camera tonight. Watch Brandon all night there. Looking for a big win. We're going to go to Bob Mikas. He's in the Von Hansen's Meat Markets onboard camera this evening, the Controlled Chaos driver. And then we've got Patrick Taylor. He's our Lock Precision Driver of the Week to take a look at Dragonfly Racing. And we'll be watching him all night through that camera. Folks, we've got a good one in store for you, Soup. They are coming around. They're getting ready, baby.
Patrick Taylor starting in 39th position. He's going to be a driver we're going to give a little special attention to. Each race we like to pay attention to one driver. We'll watch him make his way through the field, and certainly starting way in the back, he'll have a lot of field to make his way through. All right, they're coming around the final corner here. Look for the pace car to pull in. It's going to give control to Jake Wright. His specialties are ovals, but are road courses, but he can win on the ovals as well. He gets a good jump. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And Jake Wright leads the stampede into the first corner for round number 7 in your Lionheart IndyCar Series. Second place, Guerin and Ian Adams. Sean picking up in
Just going to
third.
say, they were already 3 wide going through turn 1, coming out of turn 2. They are 3 wide down the backstretch.
They had a few practice runs and they had some trouble, but so far they're doing a much better job of keeping it clean right now. There is a challenge for the lead up front as you see him coming down, trying to work on the high side. That's Dan Guerin up. No, I'm sorry, it's Ian Adams in the blue and yellow machine in the Wrangler car today. He's not going to get credited with leading the first lap, but let's see if he can get some momentum. Going down into turn 1, trying to do it on the top side. Watching the whole thing happen in the back, it's David Petty's baby boy. Dandy Dan Guerin in third. Look at the momentum that Adams gets as he comes off of turn 1. Takes the lead.
Wow, Soup, I am looking through this entire field right now, watching the newcomer, Brian Greenlee, back here in 26th place. And he is locked up here now. Oh, he almost made contact there with Pierre Degla running real close to him. Brian manages to get away. The Oculus driver having a good run here to get started.
Looking back at that battle farther back in the pack, I would usually, this is where I can say they're pretty behaved up front and they're pretty hectic in the back with Sean's. That's not the case. They continue to battle up here. The top 3 have distanced themselves a little bit. Joe Branch, Jonathan Goke, and Andrew Kinsella, your point leader, running 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah, so they're still jockeying for position here in turn 2. Now making their way over to 3 through the mid-pack. It's a real shuffle right now. George Adams, one driver who's trying to come up through the field here, but he's battling with Michael Gray. Michael Gray taking him on the inside as they came off the turn across the front stretch, and it's going to be Michael Gray that will take that 20th spot on lap 4.
Where to put the camera is the question. Look at that. They are everywhere. How about a little look at 9th position if we could? Steal a little time. This is Ron Hacker making a move on the top side. Dave Whammy Barber making a run up there. Watching on the top side behind him at 11th, that's Ryan Otis in the kind of white and red machine. Back there in 12th, George Anzaldo.
That's Ryan Otis in the HPP simulation DW12.
There you go.
On board with the first medical equipment camera here, and Brandon Lemkeman right there getting past and under Michael Goodman. Goodman a tough one to pass. This rookie is fast, Sue.
That's me knocking on my plastic table, and I'm going to consider it wood. So far, we've got 5 laps almost completed, and we have been green. Sean, I watched him during practice have a few little practice starts, and I was not optimistic from what I saw, but right now the boys are doing a good job out there. Ian Adams leading the field, Dan Guerin and Jake Wright running 1, 2, 3. Look at him come at you.
I hope that plastic table holds up, buddy. Watching Trevor Bissett in 15th place, up 10 spots already here, Soup, on lap 6, and Bissett is on the charge. On the inside of Dustin Wardlow, they go through turn 1. That's Michael Goodman right up there in front of him, but Bissett definitely charging hard here early.
And while Sean was talking there, you can see Dan Guerin earlier. We don't need to go there, but that yellow car took the lead, ducking to the inside. So now it's Guerin, Adams, and Wright. There is action everywhere, but so far everything is good. Sean, what is the tire wear here? Will they give up after on these long runs?
Yeah, actually, the tires hold up really well here, Sue. Now, when you get deep into a run, they certainly do fade away, and you will push in the toe. You'll have to watch yourself behind traffic. But for the most part, the tires are pretty good over a long fuel run here.
And again, the longer you run, the lighter the fuel load, so I guess that helps you go a little faster.
Doesn't hurt. Certainly doesn't hurt. The DW12, as the tank gets lighter, does pick up speed significantly. On board with Dan Guerin here, looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, it's now a 4-car battle. You can see back that yellow car peeking on the inside. I'm going to call it Citrus. I think it's yellow, though. That's the car of Joe Branch. Now, Branch is very good. When it comes to triple crown races, Joe Branch is the man. He has had a ton of success here in the past when we've had triple crown races.
Yeah, Joe Branch has actually finished no lower than third in each of his 2 starts at Pocono. Of the 6 Triple Crown races held to date, Branch has finished on the podium in 5 of them, Soup.
But he's listening to you right now as he's making a move now, trying to get under that podium spot as he's worked his way inside of Jake Wright. And that battle between, if we look back at the battle for third, we're watching right there, getting to lose touch with the leaders right now. Now it's a 4-car train back there with Wright, Branch, Goke, and Kinsella. Kinsella in the high car there, just inside of the blue car of Goke. I love that camera angle from Dougie B. They're coming right at you. It really shows you how long that 7/10 of a mile straightaway is. Eight-tenths of a second now from Jake Wright running second place. Oh, my apologies. Ian Adams in second place. Back to Jake Wright in third.
Soup got a really good battle back here for 14th place. Michael Gray trying to hold off Christopher, Trevor Bissett. They try to make it almost 3 wide there going into the turn. And Bissett, the one that's on. Oh, Michael Gray has trouble with his DW12. Slides up the track right in front of Christopher. Bissett able to get by, and now he's under threat from George Adams. Adams going to the inside.
There goes George in that kind of, I guess, blue machine there you see making the pass.
Apparently Dustin Wardlow had trouble on track there somewhere. He's just got on the radio, said that he has got some damage he's dealing with. In fact, there is damage on the right side pod of the White Knuckles DW12.
Oh, the Candyman having trouble. Yeah, he got it close to George Anzaldo, put it up in the wall. The Candyman, you know, the Candyman can take tomorrow and wrap it in a dream. Right now, putting it in the wall, not so much of a dream as maybe just a touch of a nightmare there for Dustin Wardlow as he falls back to 20. Looking at Bob Mikas in 22nd.
Yeah, on board with the Von Hansen's Meat Markets. On board camera, and he's battling here with Wardlow. Down to the inside. Ooh, little push there out of Bob's car. The push is real. Here comes Pierre Degla. Now Degla looking to the inside of Bob Mikas. Degla going to slip in behind. Now Mikas gets the run again on Wardlow. Wardlow making that damaged DW12 work right now, Sue.
Absolutely. Doing a great job. Look at the battle continues. They work lap number 9. Everything going great so far.
And here comes the Big Joe Show. The Big Joe Show. Wow. Just really moving. Puts the move on Bob Mikas. Down the inside. That Arctic Cat DW12 looking fast this evening. Now, Big Joe was given an EOL penalty at the start of the race. Not exactly sure why. I'm going to check with race control on that, Sue.
And as we do that, we ride board on. We look at George, Big Joe Hassard right there. "41 drivers started, 41 drivers still on the lead lap. Our featured driver today, Patrick Taylor, last car on the lead lap, running all by himself. Just a few seconds behind Travis Jagerliner. We ride on board with the Lock Precision onboard camera. Nothing wrong with being back there right now. In fact, he's going to make the pass, it looks like. Moves up into 40th position. Again, we'll follow his progress through the field as the day goes on. Lap 14. Go ahead, Sean. What do you know?
You know what? In 14 laps, the field has really, really spread out. I mean, we're talking about an 18-second difference from first to last right now, which finds Travis Jagerliner all the way at the back. And Soup, that covers about, I'd say, close to about half of this track right now.
And talking about half, we are about halfway through a fuel run here, Sean.
Yeah, we are. I love it.
It would be nice to get in a green flag stop here the first time through.
do have a nice battle going on between Brandon Lemkeman and George Adams right now. Adams just getting the better of it here. This is a battle for 17th.
We're going to go on board with Lemkeman.
Yeah, we'll go on with the first medical equipment on-board camera for a lap around Pocono here.
And we're back just in time for an accident to spin. Let's see who we can pick up who it was.
Jason Galvin, Soup, and James Krahula get into it coming out of the turn. Oh, boy, right at the entrance of pit lane, they both slide in.
Ron Hacker got a piece of that, too. I think that was got Galvin pinwheeling.
Oh, wow.
Well, look at the replay.
Yeah, let's look at the replay. We're going to see them get tangled up here.
You can see them. They get together, and then the last car that comes through, that's Hacker that gets him.
Yeah.
That gets Galvin rotating.
Boy, we're going to try and go on board with Ron Hacker here and get his view of it. He was just behind them there.
He gives them a pretty good shot. Really nowhere to go with cars to the right and to the left. You ride on board. You pick your line.
Yeah, Galvin's car really just looks like it drifted up the track, Soup. He might have caught a little bit too much of that inside curb, and it might have put the car into a slide. That's an easy spot to push right there off of the final turn.
James Galvin says, "I'm sorry, James. I really thought you'd be farther up the track." It was probably avoidable sorry there as I translate from these things happen coming back from James Krahula.
Yeah, their Dutch is hard to understand sometimes, Soup, so I'm glad you're doing the translation for us. Thank you. Now, hey, I have confirmed with Race Control that Big Joe Hassard actually got an EOL because he needed it. He was having connection problems at the time. Oh. Asked for the EOL to stay out of trouble and not cause any problems there in the start of the race. But as we saw there, the Big Joe show on track and moving up through the field, Soup, it's going to be a long day, but Big Joe awful fast on these tracks, sitting there in 20th here as we all get ready to pit, Soup. I think it's safe to say everybody's coming in.
Yeah, I do remember Joe Hassard asking for a race control, so now that makes sense what was going on. Hey, that's pretty good sportsmanship from him, knowing that he's going to have an issue. Let's get that taken care of so I don't cause a problem for some innocent people. Joe Branch is going to stay out. Andrew Kinsella is going to stay out as well.
Interesting. Maybe they're not planning on a good restart here. I don't know. That's interesting.
Or they're looking to get to the 30-lap mark. I believe, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe if you pit from the lead here, you could probably get in and out on the lead lap.
Yes. Yes, the pit window's very tight, Soup, but yeah. Yes, you can. And there is a general mode of thinking out there that whereas by the script, this race calls for about 4 pit stops, that you could possibly do it on 3.
Well, everybody who came in now on lap number 19 certainly is going to have more than the 3 pit stops. These are the 4 guys for you if you're scoring at home or watching alone. Mark these guys down. Joe Branch, Andrew Kinsella, Brian Greenlee, the newcomer, and Michael Peters. Those are the guys who are staying out. Now, there's no guarantee that Joe Branch is going to stay out here again. Even this may want that bonus point for leading a lap.
Well, Brian Greenlee getting out here rolling the dice a little bit in his first race here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Keep an eye on him today.
Well, in the Retro Series, he had a great result. He finished 4th in the it was really an attrition fest, though, in the Lotus 49, Lotus 79 Retro Series that they did in Pocono early on in the sister series. But he had a good result, finishing 4th, and actually was competitive.
Yeah, and he also ran the what was that car? The Radical series that they had, Lionheart had, and it was a lot of fun to run with. And Brian's going to be really good here in the Lionheart IndyCar series.
Green Pace car coming in. That caught me by surprise. Yeah, usually they go a couple bit longer, but that's not the case. All right, Joe Branch, Andrew Casella, Ryan Greenlee. 1, 2, 3, making a move now is Michael Peters. Those are the two white cars battling out. They come right at you. Duck your head, little squirrel. Leader of all the cars who have pitted is Dandy Dan Guerin, racing back there in the black and yellow team #NailedIt car. And he's going to be able to get around Greenlee and is trying to bring with him Jonathan Real Thing Goke.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the real thing yet, but here he comes. Oh boy! Whoa! Contact Dan Guerin. Oh, that. Jeez. What a tough break here, Sue.
Yep, and maybe a little bit of a glancing blow by Ian Adams as go by. Let's look at Dandy Dan Guerin, David Penny. Close your eyes.
Yeah, and Dan just got a run there through the turn and just clips Michael Peters and sends him around, and that erupts.
Guerin taking blame for that one too, saying, I apologize.
Yeah, so we have a lot of cars just getting through that there, Sue. Ryan Otis reporting that he might have some damage on his car as he was trying to get through there.
Yeah, Michael Peters, the big loser there. Ian Adams, I think, might have got some damage. Oh, he did. Ian Adams picked up some front wheel damage as he tried to get around the spinning car. He's actually, and Ian Adams is actually asking other drivers to take a look at it for him.
Yeah, and Ian's got some pretty solid damage actually on the left side of that TW12. Great paint scheme for this Triple Crown event this evening, but unfortunately, I think that damage is going to have some serious ramifications in the pit with no repair. It's damage on the rear wing. It does look like there's possible suspension damage on the left front as they all make their way down pit lane. All those that have decided to come down. Let me rephrase that.
And who do we have in there? Some drivers see if we can see who is actually making those stops right now.
Yeah, mainly just the drivers that were maybe affected by that some. I see Dan Guerin in, Jake Wright's come in.
All right, now the people who are playing their cards, they've made their bed. Now they're going to have to lie in it, and that is Andrew Kinsella and Joe Branch. Neither one of those drivers are coming in again. They're going to try to get to the to that 30 lap mark. What we're going to do right now on the Global Sim Racing Channel, we'll take a short break, but we'll be back before we go green. Don't go far. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, the first jewel in the Triple Crown for season number 5 from Pocono. We have an interesting strategy going on right now. Andrew Casella and Joe Branch have stayed out. They're on a 23-lap stint right now. We expect them to go another 7 or 8 laps, and they're going to have to make a stop under green. But that's okay. Everybody still needs to make 3 stops, and it has given Casella and Branch the lead. Everybody behind him has a much heavier fuel tank and some new rubber as well. Casella gets a nice jump, and he's going to lead them across as he is now working. Lap number 24, your point leader out in front. And veteran of these Triple Crown events, Joe Branch in second. Goke, Dave Whammy Barber, and Chris Stouffer, third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah, Soup, I'm watching him here now down the backstretch. Cars jockeying for position, but nobody wanting to step out and make a bold move yet. Trying to settle in here for a little bit of racing.
Look at that mess we're looking at right there. Oh, get it sorted out, guys.
Yeah, Trevor Bissett leading that angry battle at DW12s, and it's Michael Goodman now making a look, but doesn't take it. George Anzalo in the mix there. Big stack up just behind him, Ron Hacker, and it's George Adams making a move to the inside of Ron Hacker. George Adams going to try and move there on George Anzalo.
We'll stay on this. I can just report up front they're swapping the lead, but it's much more peaceful than what you're seeing right there. So my spidey senses says let's stay on this battle.
On board with George Anzalo right there. The Ford hanging it high. George Adams going to slip in behind.
You can just see that blue car dip into the inside. That's Jonathan Goke now, who's worked his way up. I think he started about 5th after the restart. He's worked his way back up, but fighting back now, Joe Branch. We continue to look at 9th. Up front, they're side by side. Looking there. There we go. Now we got it. It's a 5-car battle up in front. That blue car out in front, that is Jonathan Goke. That yellow car is Joe Branch. Don't get too excited if you're a fan of Joe Branch or Andrew Casella in the gray car back behind, because they're going to have to come in here in another couple laps. Casella running in 3rd. Barber, he's on that long run, though. He'll be fine up there in 4th position in that kind of a royal dark blue or black. What color are you going to say that precision car is there, Sean? That number 23.
It's black. Its
is it
base
black?
color
Okay.
is black, yeah.
Putting color where it doesn't belong. Must have been the reflection of that Pennsylvania sky bouncing off that black machine. Fighting for 3rd right now in the lock position car. Watching the whole thing, Chris Stouffer in 5th. Oh, very close. And I guess they survived. Barber able to...
Wow.
Oh my goodness, is Kinsella
Jeez.
practicing some rhinoplasty and chopping the nose off of Dave Barber. Either Barber drifted high or Kinsella didn't leave him much room. You make the call, but...
I don't think... Oh, the yellow's out soon.
I'm looking at Paulson. I believe it was car number 38. And Jake Wright is in it as well.
Yeah, I think it started with a little bit of contact between James Paulson and Ryan Otis coming through the turn. Coming through turn 1.
Then I saw Tony Shallon.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of cars caught up in that there suit.
I heard Jared Turnbull might have been involved in it as well. Yeah, when the cars were checking up, Jake Wright got the car a little bit loose. Watch what happens to Wright here. He gets into it first, and then he gets really T-boned.
Yeah, Turnbull gets him in. The other car that he made contact, there was Brian Greenlee trying to get by, gets clipped on the right rear, and that sends him into the inside retaining wall. But a lot of good race cars torn up there, Sue.
And poor Turnbull. If we get a chance, if we have one more time, I don't know if our director can still do it. You can look at this. He's wound. He's getting the car wound up, and then he gets tagged from behind by Mitchell Moyer. That's another Area 51 car that has more repair bills. Here he is. Now watch him, Sean. He's going to get the car wound up. I think he's going to find a way around, and then all of a sudden he gets punched in behind by Moyer. The Turnbull family has the worst luck.
Yeah, not very good here, and well, it's all going to go really wrong right here, Sue.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Ow.
Yeah, and that's a wild ride, tangled up with Jake Wright.
Hey, if you know the Turnbulls and they ask to borrow your car, I'm going to say Uber would be my suggestion.
Well, Kinsella, Joe Branch coming down the pit lane now, Sue.
Well, this falls right into really close into the window. I think they're going to be fine. They were looking to get to this spot. Everybody else coming in. So basically it puts a lot of people on the same strategy. It got those guys out front. Of course, they're going to have a lot more fuel to put in, so I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get out.
Yeah, now, most of the field that just came in 4 laps ago, Sue,
didn't come in, right?
No, they stayed out. They did, yes. And I'm sorry, that was actually about 11 laps ago that they came in. But, Kinsella and Kinsella and Joe Branch are married to that strategy right now.
So I'm with them here on this one. So you say, oh my goodness, now they're way at the back of the field. Yeah. But right now, if things play out the way they have it planned, they have one less pit stop to make than everybody else. Everybody's going to have to do this pit stop a little bit later and put them on the same strategy. I like what they're doing. Hey, Sean, do we want to talk about one of our favorite drivers here, Jason Robarge?
Yeah, let's take a look at Jason Robarge here.
Jason not on track right now, but we do have this wonder. We've been trying to get this video played out here for a while.
Yeah, Jason Robarge, the AGR Motorsports. Now, he is compliant for AGR Soup with the name Robarge. So, and Jay.
That's right.
So he fits. Career starts, 60 of them tonight. 2 wins in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, and 3 starts here at Pocono. Would have been 3 starts, sorry.
That's what his car, if he would have been here, that's what the car would have looked like. Would have been that beautiful rainbow car.
Yeah, and unfortunately not making the field tonight, but his best Pocono finish was last season, 6th place. And, well, again, if he was here, that's what the car would have looked like, Sue. So,
not to be confused with the great character actor Jason Robards, that's very different.
Right, correct.
Jason Robards, of course, if you've ever watched Crimson Tide, he's the judge there at the very end that gives the sentence for. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe he was the man from La Mancha as well, wasn't he?
Man from La Mancha.
Yes.
He's also in the 5th greatest poker movie ever, and that is Big Hand for a Little Lady. If you haven't seen that one, check that one out. Great plot to that movie. She has a great poker hand, but she doesn't have enough money to keep playing it. She takes her hand over to the bank and takes out a loan based on how good her hand is. Tell me that's not a plot, huh?
Sue, tonight, of course, is the first Triple Crown race, the DirtyBlinds.com 300. It's the first leg of this 2017 Triple Crown. The race is paying double points, as we've talked about. In addition, the winner is going to receive some prizes.
Oh, yeah. Some of these prizes are amazing.
Custom winner's plaque, 2 8x5x11 prints. Got a couple of those prints. They're really cool. Hardcover book, a 1992 All-World Racing IndyCar trading card set, complete. $50 in PayPal funds or iRacing credits. $50, Sue.
I know.
50. 13 by 19-inch high-quality custom poster from a screenshot of your choice. Additionally, positions 2nd through 5th are also going to receive an 8.5 by 11 print. George feeling pretty generous here, and we're live and green again, Sue, if they caught us.
Jonathan Goke in the lead as he comes across working lap number 32. Jonathan, after probably watching the broadcast during that yellow flag run saying, you know what? $50 is nice. That's dinner for me and my wife at Outback Steakhouse, but what I would really like is that winner's plaque. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I think looking for the winner's plaque right now is the guy challenging for the lead. How about Chris Stouffer going to lead for a little while?
Yeah, Stouffer up 18 spots to find that P1 right now. Goat probably not going to let him have it for long.
Top 25 drivers pretty much on the same pit strategy right now. You can see back a little bit back behind the battle for third. Let's drop back one spot. We haven't heard much from him. Trevor Brissett in third. And look at this, the accountant guitar player, Dave Barber, trying to make a move, Sean.
And Big Joe Hassert still making big moves through this field. Hassert now charging on Brian Yazik, looking to the inside of him as they head through turn 2. Man, that Arctic Cat is screaming this evening. On board with with Bob Mikus and the Von Hansen's beat marking camera. He's watching that battle up in front of him. Bob getting a good shot. Boy, they've really got to run on George Anzalo and his crew up there just in front. Mike Goodman. Gets Ron Hacker up there also.
I know we have a lot of great sponsors, but that Von Hansen meat, whenever we talk about it, that just makes my mouth water. That's just sounds so good.
Everybody needs a little meat in their life, Sue.
Right.
That's what I say all the time.
And you can get some good meat there, and you can also take in, if you're a hunter, take in your squirrel or your rabbit or your duck or your deer, and they'll fix it up for you. They'll dress it right up.
I believe Big Joe Hassert might need more than a change of tires next time. He was feeling a little nervous about that side-by-side with George Anzalo there for a moment.
Now, as we watch out this battle going on, remember there are 2 drivers that are going to show back up in the lead here a little bit later. And it's the guys who are on that long run. And, of course, Andrew Kinsella and Joe Branch.
See Ed Tutwiler right there in 23rd. Andrew Kinsella trying to get around. Ed Tutwiler in a special paint scheme this evening, Soup. A little reminiscent of what Fernando Alonso was running at Indy today.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that. That's great news for Indy. That's a little bit of a throwback when Indy was the greatest spectacle in racing. Probably still is.
Guys showed up from all over the world to run it, man.
Yeah, I just want to let's go back to 27th position. This is another driver who snuck in on that very last yellow flag and is on this long run. Chris Lanini, right now trying to work his way around Bogan. And there's Joe Branch also, so keep an eye on Lanini as one of those guys who's going to sneak back up. We're going to see them up in the lead for about 10 or 15 laps here when the pit window opens up. And there's an accident behind these guys.
Yeah, boy, that one looked like it might have been a little, what we call
Moeller and Peters, I guess. And I think Peter started to wiggle. Peter started to get loose and came right down into Mitchell Moeller.
Yeah, I think it might have started with Bluen, though, with Robert Bluen, the 77. This is where I think there might have been a net code. Peters.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
Peters.
Close to blowing.
Yeah, Peters doesn't make contact, but the car moves violently and then collects Moeller. I think that started for all the wrong reasons, Soup, and I don't really know that there's anyone to blame there, but a little bit of bad internet frequency there.
Yeah, if I'm Peters, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I mean, you see it there, and yeah, I just, again, looks like that's how it may have started. That's a shame.
Look at it one more time. The question is, yes, did he get loose or did he get a little mystery contact here? We're going to look at it in slow motion.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely no contact. I just think it may have net coated, and that's what
Yeah.
started him to spin there. When he started to get close, it looks like it bounced and jerked the car to the right, back to the left, and he makes that contact with Moeller. Well, we'll let the stewards hash that out, Soup.
That's what I tell myself. It's always net code. It's hard to convince myself of that when like I'm practicing alone, but it's a tough sell. Your top 5 right now: Chris Stouffer, Jonathan Goke, Trevor Bissett, Dave Barber, and Ron Hacker. Hey, we promised you that we were going to take a look at the point standings using the drop races. What has happened is Simon and Poindexter for... Oh, we're going to be pit stops right here. I'm surprised people were coming in. Actually, I thought they were all going to stay out and say, well, they've been out for about 20 laps, so I guess it's time to come in.
Yeah,
Stay
there
here.
was a little bit of head games being played there at the entry. A few guys decided to duck out that looked like they were going in. But most of the field is coming down. I will tell you who stayed out, and that's Trevor Bissett, Dave Barber, Brian Yazik, Bob Mikus, Big Joe, Pierre Degla, Ryan Otis, Scott Bolster, Andrew Kinsella, Joe Branch, and Tony Shallen. Your top 11.
Well, the front ones I've got a question. Bissett, Barber, Yazik, Mikus, Hassert, Degla, they're all going to come in about another 10 laps. I don't see the point of staying out there. But what we are going to do right now is take a short break. We'll be back before we go to green. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, round number 7, the first jewel in the Triple Crown of season number 5 from Pocono. What we have here is 3 sets of drivers on different strategy. Trevor Bissett leads a group of 10 cars who are going to have to pit here in the next 20 laps or so. Then we get back to the guys that are on this long pit stop strategy where they're going to try to do it. That's Kinsella, Branch, and Schowen. And then back to the really fast guys back behind. Pace car is pulled in. We have reached the 1/3 mark as they are working lap number 41. And your leader is Trevor Bissett. Dave Whammy Barber on the outside, being challenged by that blue and white machine of Brian Yozik. Haven't heard much from Brian right now. He's worked his way up to second. On the charge on the inside, here comes Big Joe Hassard. He gets around Micus and now tries to tuck inside of Barber. Looks like he's going to get that one as well. The Big Joe Show is on the air.
Super intense battle back here for 8th. Kinsella holding it down, but Scott Bolster up 26 spots, trying to bring Christopher with him. Kinsella hanging on to it right now, but here they come. Bolster with a big move to the inside, heading into turn 1.
You can say that while that was going on, Yozik took a peek at Bissett. It didn't work. Look at that battle for 10th back there. The battle is just as intense everywhere we look on the track. How about going up front? This is Dave Barber, the guitar playing accountant. He just got around Trevor Bissett. Does he have enough momentum to lead to the start-finish line? He does. Give credit for leading lap number 42 to Dave Barber. It's going to be a short-lived lead as Trevor Bissett gets back out in there. Barber could have held his breath longer than he held the lead. The battle continues from behind. Look at them fight this thing out. We continue to be focusing on second place. 2 by 2. On the inside, it's Trevor Bissett. On the outside, it's Barber. Big Joe Hassard now in third.
Boy, no surprise to see Big Joe Hassard up there in a big race. Here he goes, trying to get inside Bissett. He almost gets side to side, almost a little contact there, but Big Joe Hassard hangs on to it. There's Yozik just looking and waiting right there behind him, on board with him.
So let me set the stage for you. Out in front, it is Dave Barber. He started 13th. He's up into the lead right now. Trevor Bissett, 25th to second, running in second position. The car on the inside, that's Joe Hassard, who gets tapped from behind by Yozik. They keep it going, just Yozik saying, hello.
Oof.
A perfect nose punch to the gearbox of Hassard. Yozik drops back now. That's going to let Pierre Nightingale drop into 4th position.
Yet don't see any damage on Yozik's wing. He looks okay.
Bob Micus running back in 6th position behind the blue and white machine of Yozik. Micus picked up his first career win earlier in the season. Ryan Otis, the rookie who we are expecting big things from, watching the whole thing happen. Meanwhile, now ducking to the inside, getting around Yozik. That's Micus, but he's not able to keep the momentum as Yozik is going to fight back on the top. Meanwhile, ahead of them, Big Joe Hassard gets up into 3rd, Daigle in 4th. Dave Barber out there all by himself right now, racing alone. He's got himself a 0.3 of a second lead, which here at Pocono, that's an eternity. Oh, getting very loose back in 4th position was Hassard. He's able to gather it up. Daigle goes around on the top side. Now looking down to the inside of Bissett. They go into corner number 1 at 10:55. They come out at noon, but now the momentum from the top side goes to Bissett. Daigle back to 3rd. Hassard, Yozik, Micus peeking to the inside of Yozik.
Yeah, really cutting it close with Yozik. It's a good view here for Trevor Bissett. Here comes Pierre Nightingale right up the wing there of Trevor Bissett, and Bissett gonna guard that inside line from the charge of Big Joe Hassard.
Protecting that inside. Meanwhile, up to 6/10 of a second now is the lead of Dave Barber. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own only one guinea pig because they are susceptible to loneliness. Swiss lawmakers fear not. Dave Barber is completely happy up there running all by himself, 0.7 of a second ahead of Pierre Deglay. Car in the wall. Might have been maybe Bissett had an issue. We're looking to see if we can find it.
He's off pace, definitely. It might have been. Let's see, Soup. I think we got a shot of it here. Bissett on the top side. Oh, contact, actually. Little contact with Pierre Degla, and that's what gets Bissett off pace there. That'll do it.
Bad news for Bissett is he is really struggling now. Losing positions left and right.
He is dropping like a cinder block, and nothing he can do about it right now. Now, looks like he's back up to speed. It's just a matter of getting back into rhythm here. He's going to tussle with Bob Mikus. Yeah, it does look like Bissett's back into this thing here now, Soup.
The top three have separated a bit, and this is the first time all race that there really been any type of gap between the leaders. Barber out ahead by 0.8 of a second over Degla, who had a little bit of incident there with Bissett. Big Joe Hassard about a second back in third. Then, Sean, we get to the guys that are fighting here. Yazik, Mikus, Bissett has got his momentum back. Otis.
Yeah,
and
Otis.
Kinsella.
Otis just had Stouffer get by him, and you know what? We haven't talked about Otis a lot, but he's running a quiet race right now. I think that's good. I think that plays into his hands right now. Otis trying to keep that HPP simulations car clean, and so far done a good job of that.
But, Sean, with these yellow flags, these guys up front are working on a stint of 32 laps. They're going to be coming in pretty soon. Look real quick for the lead to get inherited by Andrew Kinsella, as he's going to stay out, and Joe Branch running in 11th right now. I expect them to be in the lead pretty soon, as I think it's going to be a pit party pretty soon, and the first in the door might be Dave Barber. Is he going to come in this time or stay out? He's going to stay out one more time. You got to remember that this 33-lap stint, a lot of them were under yellow, so maybe they can go 34 or 35.
Oh, we got another caution, Sue. Oh,
Bogan, I think, involved in it with Ed Tutwiler.
Yeah, Bogan and Ed Tutwiler mix it up, and it looks like, Bogan had a little trouble getting off the turn, comes up the track.
I think that might have happened from Dave Gray, or I'm sorry, Michael Gray, the racing kangaroo, got in the wall just ahead of him, and I think they were reacting to him. Now watch the car on the top side. Gets in the wall. It's the third car. It's on the inside right now. It drifts wide. That's Gray. Gray gets in the wall, and I think then these guys try to avoid him. That's what got them together. Well, let me tell you something. Dave Barber was out there 34 laps. He was thinking cowards, ribbons around old oak trees and rivers in China. He was hoping for something yellow, and he got it.
It definitely works out for Dave Barber indeed. Good time for a caution flag for him. Not surprised to see Dave up front, though. Dave puts a lot of time into this, and I'll tell you what, he's certainly very, very good with the setup, Soup, and always plays an integral part in helping prepare these and getting the drivers to work on them together. And Dave, again, with the time that Dave puts in, I'm not surprised to see him here up front.
We'll stay here and see how these pit stops turn out. I expect Barber, Degla, Hassard, Yazik, Bissett all to come in. Mikus. Then you're going to get down to these guys that are on these longer runs. Maybe Stouffer stays out. I think Kinsella is going to stay out. I think Branch is going to stay out if I know what they're up to. Let's see. Come on, guys. Don't make me a liar here. Top 6 should be coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And staying out, is Stouffer. Yep. Kinsella comes in, though. That one surprised me. Otis as well. I think Kinsella's thinking that, man, I have the pace. I don't need to be tricky. I have the pace to win this one outright. Tony Schowen, though, as I expected, stays out as well. So your leader, Chris Stouffer.
Ooh, big race coming to the line. Oh. Wow. These pit stops so important, Sue.
Daigle, a lot of talking. Looks like Jack Bogan's going to let some people get around. So here's the way they're lining up after the stop. Stouffer, out there for 15 laps, your leader. Joe Branch in second, been out there for 24 laps. Schowen been out there for 23. They're on the same pit strategy. Bluen is on the same strategy as Stouffer, been out there for 14 laps. Then we get to all the guys who just came in that last time. Daigle, Kinsella, Barber, Jacek. Remember, Barber was your leader. Now, we've been promising this to you all race long. Let's go ahead and give you our standings here. Now, these are the standings. What we did, we put Simon and Poindexter, the GSRC stat boys, we sent them down into the dungeons, the damp and musty dungeons on the GSRC campus to calculate these numbers. Now, you take into account the 3 drop races. This is the standings. Look at that. You got the no-name racing driver, Jake Wright, out in front by 10 points over Dan Guerin. Now, Ryan Otis, remember, he's farther down the standings because he missed a race. When you take into the drop race, you see him up into 3rd. Kinsella, your point leader, you don't find him in the lead anymore. He's down there in 4th position. Goke rounding out that left side. You look on the other side there, rookie Michael Goodwin up there in 6th, Michael Gray, James Grahula, Brian Jacek, and then Brandon Limkeman. That's your top 10. So each race, what we'll try to do is give you that standings as well, so you get an idea of how they stand, taking into account drop races.
Yeah, and so, you know, that means having trouble in this race, even though it's double points at stake, doesn't mean the end of your season, okay? You do have those drop weeks to play with, and if you fall a little bit short tonight, you got in trouble early, you're going to have a chance to fight back.
Now, next yellow flag, we have all these. We come prepared here at the Global Sim Racing Channel to entertain you. Next yellow flag, we will bring out our trivia question.
Oh,
Have one of those every week. I almost forgot about that
and
one.
We've got a great crowd in the chat tonight, Soup.
Okay.
A lot of people in there. I'm sure we're going to have somebody that pulls down an answer for us tonight.
So stick around during the next yellow flag. We'll give you that question, and then Sean will monitor the YouTube chat. And then, Sean, when will we have the answer to that? At the very end of the broadcast. Like we do every week.
Of course. Yes,
Again,
sir.
I
knew the
You
answer.
gotta come to the rehearsals, man.
That was an intentional pause.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I'm sticking to that story.
Okay. Working lap number 55 of 120.
See what Billy Mitchell said. Yay, trivia. There you go. Thanks, Billy.
Pace car just about ready to peel in here. And the pace car peels, and so does the thunder of the engines as Chris Stouffer leads them across the line, working lap number 56. He's ahead of Joe Branch in that yellow machine. They're coming right at you. 2 by 2 up front. Branch gets to the lead. Stouffer on the outside. Bluen on the inside. Schowen on the outside. Schowen moves up into 3rd. There's 2 more back behind them. That's Kinsella in the cool machine down low. Geared Nightingale in 5th position. The top 6 now go single file.
Soup, Trevor Bissett really had trouble on that restart. He's just called in and he's going to pit again this time by.
Bissett, who was out leading for a while, has ran into trouble. Remember, we saw him, I think, Lance into the wall. I think that's what's causing him trouble. If I can read my chicken scratches here. Looking at Stouffer running in second. Look at him coming right at you. Now a big hornet's nest worth of fighting going on back there. The real battle back at about 9th position. Goke and Barber. Ian Adams on the low side. Bob Muckus up high. Sean Lace control. Jesse Vincent really coming down hard on the driver saying, keep the chat clear.
Well, I'll tell you what's not clear is the traffic on, on this track right now. Ian Adams in a real big battle with Bob Mikus. Finally was able to clear him. Adams is in 11th. Now he's got the run on Dave Barber. Adams, after early trouble, back in this thing. Man, he's so close to Dave right now. Whew. He's going to go to the inside and follow Jonathan Goke through the turn. Yazik up there on the top side, trying to defend, can't do it. Adams going to complete another pass. I'm sorry, yes, Ian going to complete another pass, but Dave Barber looking back to the inside soup as they come across the line. Adams continuing to move up.
We're watching all of that. I can just report that Stouffer and Branch are doing the dipsy-do dance step up here, swapping twice during each lap. Let's go there right now. You can see, here we go. This is not that all exciting as these guys have the choreography worked out. There goes the yellow car at Joe Branch underneath. No problem there. Stouffer tucks back in behind, and then he'll come back around as they come down the main stretch. Stouffer sits back, gets a nice wide line, wide entry through 3, gets a good run down the main stretch, gets into the toe, tucks in behind. Branch will not fight him, and he makes the move. There he goes. They go down into 1. They're doing that twice a lap, and they're trying to distance themselves away from Schowen and Kinsella.
Well, Soup, we've reached the halfway point of this race. It's time to get on to the real battle now.
You know, there's more than just one championship going on here. There's also the team championship as well. And if I look here...
Soup, we got trouble coming off of turn 2. It's Robert Bluen. He is off pace, made contact. Looks like it was contact with George Adams. And Bluen manages to save the car. Let's look at the replay.
Boy, yeah, he did a good job. Took it down in the grass, but he didn't spin it.
Wow. Yeah, Bluen does a great job of saving the car after you see the contact there. There it is. Yeah, he's smoking those. Boy, those tires are going to be angry.
Okay, now just to follow up here on we're talking about the championships. I believe that's right now it's who is out in front there? It's Branch out in front of Stouffer. Schowen and Kinsella. Are those not all adrenaline drivers? That's called a good points day for your team if they can bring that home.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's going to be a great points haul. Stouffer having to fend off a run here, though. Joe Branch looking to the inside.
Yazik looks like he got in the wall.
Ooh.
Oh, he got into it with the blue car there of George Adams.
Yeah, Adams again in it with somebody else there, and it's Yazik this time.
Yazik in that white and blue car, Adams in the solid blue car down below. Ooh, that was a hard hit. Oh, he did a little SK modified riding up on the wall there, Sean.
Boy, he scuffed it up a little bit, but I think he's going to be okay. That sure rattled him just a bit. Oh, boy, I don't know. That's going to be... Yeah, that's going to be tough for Yazik. You see everybody screaming by him there on the replay.
Yeah, he is in the pits. Brian has come in.
We stay green, Soup. Yazik's got to bring it down.
No fast repairs in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Big boy race it. You break it, you bought it.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for the top 3 cars to be coming in pretty soon. I'm talking Branch, Stouffer, and Schowen. No, let me correct myself. Branch and Schowen. I think Stouffer can stay up for a while. Kinsella really sitting in the best mark. he's the leader of all those cars that came in last time, and he's got a big gap on Big Joe Hassard, about almost a second. That's why I think Kinsella came in and decided to get off the screwy strategy he was on. I think he realized he has a winning hand. He doesn't need to play it tricky. He's just going to bet conservatively and see what kind of pot he can win.
Soup, let's look at Pete Edwards here in 20th spot. He's in a battle now with Matthew Mercer. Let's go on board with the DirtyBlinds.com on-board camera. They're having a little tussle here through turn. Almost made contact. Oh boy. So close coming off the turn there. And a little bit of trouble averted there with Matthew Mercer as you look behind and see him back there. Mercer going to give him the space, and Edwin's going to hang on to that 20th spot right now.
We're checking some of these drivers. How about we take a peek at Patrick Taylor, our featured driver here today. Racing in the Lock Precision car. He's racing in 29th spot. All by himself, but still on the lead lap.
That's right, still on the lead lap, still in this race, which means he's got plenty of time
Up
here to
10 spots,
maybe be a factor. Yep. He's getting a run there on James Krahula. Krahula had found early trouble.
In fact, I think Krahula might be, because he took that pit stop. He's a lap down. But he is in a fight there coming up. This is Bluthenthal. He has a run on, and then he's got the Candyman up in front of him. Look at our man make his move. Nice job, Patrick.
Yeah, Wardlow up there still digging after having trouble early, getting that car wrecked, and he's still fighting through it. Boy. Ooh, battle for fourth there, Soup, between Adams and Goke. It's going to be Adams back to fifth. Goke taking that spot.
Real thing, Goke, doing very well right now, moving up into that spot ahead of Ian Adams. All right, I think we have one have come in. I guess Shawan has made his stop from up front. Am I correct on this? Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Joe Branch is also
Joe Branch. Yeah, Joe Branch and Tony Shawan both came in at the same time. They are now just about to complete the second lap, so they've got their out lap in, and now they're well into their run.
So that turns it over to the guys who are on the next set of strategies here. That is Adams and Barber.
Yeah, now Stouffer on his, the only guy out there on the strategy he's on right now. Stouffer going to have to come here, come down pit lane here sometime the next few laps, Sue.
Yeah, I would think he'd be coming in this time.
And there he goes.
It is. So that's going to turn it over to Andrew Kinsella here. Now, I don't mean to confuse you. Yes, he is your gross point leader when you don't take into account drop races. He's sitting fourth when you take into account the drop races. Hassard's going to get second. And then we get to that battle we were watching before, Goke and Adams.
Okay, Soup, there's a really interesting point in this race. The cars have really spread out on track. The battles, they're small now, okay? They're not big clusters of cars. What does that mean? Well, it means there's time to get out and race, and I really think fuel is going to be a really big factor here down the stretch with only 50 laps to go.
Well, they're working lap 70 right now. I think they have to get to lap 89 if they have a chance, if it goes green, to go the distance from there. These guys would need another 19 laps. I don't think any of these guys are going to be able to do it. So I think everyone right now is pretty much on the same strategy, all needing to come in, well, I guess 2 more times.
Yeah, well, now your top 21 right now, all on that same strategy, Soup. all on the same amount of laps, and Robert Bluen just making a big call. He's going to come in. The Big Joe Show making his call.
Yeah, I just want to tell you the guys that I think can go with one more stop, and that's going to be Stouffer and Schowen and Branch. You want to keep an eye on them. They're on the lead lap. They are running 27th, 28th, and 29th right now, but they have one more stop ahead of them. Remember, they were up front when they pitted. I know it's confusing. We'll try to do the best to clarify what's going on. If you're a race fan, I think you figured it out. Kinsella, your leader, will have to come in 2 more times. Probably a full stop and then a splash and go. Now, look at that yellow car there. That's David Penny's baby boy, Dandy Dan Guerin, making a pass. They go around the car that's just coming out of the pits. That's Robert Bluen.
Yeah. I made it real close getting by Bluen there. Bluen just now getting back up to speed. Bob Mike is going to get around. It looks like where he's going to settle in.
And Adams.
Gotta watch out, though.
I'm sorry, we had to look here. Adams is really close. Let's go up to 5th position real quick. This is getting nasty. This is Adams in the blue car. Guerin on the top side. Now with a run behind is Pierre Nightingale trying to get in the mix. Now giving him the T-Berry shuffle is Guerin. Drops down on the inside. They go into one. Guerin gonna keep Adams on the top side. Guerin gets that done. At least for now. I don't know if they're fighting or dancing. If they got the choreography down, they need to work on their steps, because that was a little too scary for my taste.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of close racing going on. Brandon Lemkeman and George Anzaldo having a very spirited battle for 10th place. Lemkeman's got the edge right now, but George running right up on him, getting wheel to wheel with Brandon Lemkeman. Wants that 10th spot. Brandon not willing to give it up right now. Look at that gaggle of cars there coming up on Ryan Otis.
Trevor Bassett, I think, in the walls. Am I correct on this? Did we get a yellow? I think he's off the racing line. So there is no yellow.
Wow.
He lost it. The car got onto the grass. He banged it onto the inside retaining wall. The officials are cold-hearted because he wasn't on the racing line. It didn't matter. They stayed green. Look at this, Sean.
That started on the curb on the rumble strip there, down on the inside. He got too much of it, Soup, and it caused that car to get out of shape. You're going to see it on the replay here. Yeah, he just came down a little bit low, and it's the car. You're going to see the car shoot up the track. He tries to correct it, can't save it. Ouch.
There we go. We come back live. Let's go ahead and run down your top 10. We'll show you what's going on, because for the first time this race, we really have some guys stretching out. Andrew Kinsella with a 2-second lead over Jonathan Goke. 2 more stops in their future, though. Running in 3rd, Ian Adams. Then Dave Barber back there in 4th, not really fighting with anybody. The first battle on track is for 5th, Guerin and Adams. Do we have another incident? I heard Bob Mikas just scraped it off the wall, but I guess we're okay.
Soup. Okay, here they come, Soup. Here they come. The leaders are making their call.
This is a little earlier than I expected. What I think they might be doing is breaking this last section down into 3 even spots. They're coming in with 44 to go. Our leader is in. Goke is in. Adams stays out. The guitar player accountant stays out. Dave Barber. Guerin, Adams stay out. All these cars that are pitting now are still going to have to make one more stop, unless we get a real run of yellow flags.
I sure hope not. This racing is fun right now, Soup.
Sure is.
I tell you what, I like trying to keep track of these pit cycles here. lot of drivers still making their call, coming down now. There's Ian Adams making his way down there in the Wrangler. DW12 this evening. Special paint scheme here for the Triple Crown race. Adams looking for a good, clean, quick pit stop here.
All this going on. I believe the leader of all the cars who can go with one more stop is Chris Stouffer, currently running in 16th position. I think he should be good to get there with one more stop. All the drivers who are out there right now, the top 14, are still going to have to come in one more time. Barber, Guerin, Adams, Lincoln, Hacker, Micas, Otis, Turnbull, Mercer, Bolster, Collins, all need to come in. Gray, Jägerleiter, Taylor.
Boy, in Soup, it looks like they're all going to fall about 5 to 6 laps short.
The guys are out there, yeah.
Yeah, being able to do it on just one per stop. Great communication going on here on track as they're all calling out those stops, Soup.
We're riding on board with Brandon Lincoln currently in 4th, but that's going to be short-lived. I would think he probably has another maybe 4 laps to go. Let's go ahead and put the camera real quick on Chris Stouffer running in 15th position. I believe he's going to inherit the lead once all these stops are done. But what's interesting is I'm not sure if he has the pace. He is just ahead of Kinsella.
Okay, now we've got some of your leaders starting to make the call. Soup, George Adams is in. Oh boy, big trouble for Tyler Turnbull out of turn 3, Soup.
And he bounces it back out. He bounces it out far enough onto the racing line, actually kind of in pit entrance, that brings out the caution. Good news for Guerin, Barber, Otis, Micas, Bolster. They all needed to come in. They're going to get to do it under green. I believe when this is all set, I think everyone will probably... Are they close enough now? 39, no. They're still going to have to come in one more time.
Yeah. It just says the math doesn't work, Sue.
No.
Man, that was a hard hit for Tyler Turnbull. You see here the car spins around and he just whacks that Armco barrier down there and just destroys the car. I think that's probably going to end the night for Tyler Turnbull.
And one more Area 51 repair bill.
Wow, Sue.
We'll stay here. Go ahead, Sean.
I think they had a poll going in the chat there as to whether or not there was going to be a caution flag there, Soup. I think we might have won somebody some money.
Oh, the drivers knew we had to give out a trivia question here, so we appreciate them.
Oh, the trivia question. The trivia question. Yeah.
We'll stay live here. We'll do the trivia question after the pit stops are done. We're expecting the leaders to come in. Guerin, Barber, Otis, Micas, Bolster, Collins, all to come in. Gray, Jägerleiter. But then you get back to the guy that I don't know about. We get back to Stouffer. He was only in 13 laps ago. Does he want to stay out? We'll see. Everybody still needs to make one more stop. 38 laps to go. It'll probably maybe 36 by the time we go green. Sean, we talked about this before we went live. They really don't have a cruising gear so much here. Yeah, is there like a 5th gear you can race in and a 6th gear you can conserve fuel in, or really not?
You know, 5th and 6th are geared pretty close, Soup, but certainly riding around here in the highest gear is one good way to save fuel. You're going to have them doing a myriad of things here, turning the motor off, coasting around, riding in neutral. Again, there are a few things you can do to try and save fuel. I think most of them are going to be doing all they can. As we see the leaders make their way down pit road here live on screen.
Oh, they're all coming. Guerin is going to... All the front runners are coming in, it looks like. except for Chris Stouffer. That's what we thought. He would stay out. Big Joe Hazard also stays out. Kinsella was in the position to stay out, but again, I think he likes his car so much, he thinks he doesn't need to play around. He doesn't need to get tricky. Okay, what we're going to do now is give you our trivia question. We have one of these every week, and of course, we try to keep it original that you cannot figure out by Googling, but I think this one, we like to make them hard, we like to make them easy. I think this one's going to be okay for you. So here's your trivia question for today, as soon as I can find it. There we go. Hey, beginning in 1971, IndyCar has raced at Pocono 24 times. Now, Bakersfield's Rick Mears has 3 wins, but one driver has earned 4 Pocono checkered flags. So, your round trivia 7 trivia question is, be it USAC, kart, or IndyCar, which driver owns the most open wheel wins at Pocono? And of course, Sean's going to be monitoring the YouTube chat.
Yes.
And we'll have we'll announce the winner at the very end. Okay, what we're going to do now is take a short break. We'll be back before we go green. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series round number 7, the first Jill in a Triple Crown season number 3, so season number 5. We're about to go green here. Going to be working lap number 86. Chris Stouffer is your leader, but the top 10 drivers are all going to need to come in one more time. Stouffer leads them into the first corner. Second place is Adams. Look at them fan out behind Adams now. 3 wide.
Wow.
Kinsella in the stealer wheel position. Goke, the Joker. Adams was the clown. They continue to fight. The crowd is running up on the back now of Stouffer in the lead. They're coming from all angles. Woo! Stouffer hangs out in front. Kinsella in second. The guy working really hard on the inside is that blue machine of Jonathan Goke. Sean, and it's not just up front, it goes on all the way back.
I'm watching several battles right now. You've got Dan Garrett chasing Ron Hacker. They're wheel to wheel. Dan heading down into the bottom of turn 1, and he's going to try and get a run here, and Hacker can't pull it off yet. You've got this battle right in front of them with George Gonzalo following Limkeman, trying to find his way around. Ron Hacker playing pretty good defense, though, keeping Dan at bay. It's going to be George Gonzalo that looks to the inside of Brandon Limkeman up front, trying to take away that spot, get himself up to 7. And Danny Dan with the run. Got the run in the turn.
Now, we talked about the top 10 drivers all needing to come in one more time. I'm not sure if that's the case for everybody. We think some people might be able to stretch it. One of them being Dandy Dan Guerin. If the yellows were to fall at the very end and he was able to nurse it, he might not have to stop again. Drivers in the same situation: Guerin, Otis, Barber, Micus, Gray. Remember those names. Up in front right now in Stouffer.
Boy, lots of shuffling for position going on right now. And I mean, you can go as far back as 23rd spot right now. And I mean, there's good battles. You've got Michael Goodman right now trying to get around Robert Bluen and get himself into a better spot. Goodman having a bit of a tough night, Soup, but is able to get by. And now Goodman is up to 23rd, trying to get it back here and maybe get himself back into a decent points-paying position.
Goodman in one of the drivers in that race for the rookie of the season. Looking at P1. This is Andrew Catch Kinsella out in front of Chris Stouffer. Kinsella's going to get credit for leading the lap. Kinsella might have glanced off the wall. We're not sure. It looks like, let's see if the car feels healthy here. He's losing a little bit of time. Let's see if he has any speed coming up. Blinking a little bit there is Stouffer.
And, Soup, I don't know if we've talked about it enough tonight, but this is a 100% fuel race. The fact that you can get about 30 to 31, maybe 32 laps out of the DW12 on this very, very demanding long track, it says a lot about the fuel mileage of this car.
I thought I heard somebody having trouble. It was Schowen. Tony Schowen just glanced it off the wall.
Man, Big Joe Hassert and Ian Adams just really almost collected each other there. Oh, big trouble in one.
Was it George Adams?
Yeah, George Adams and Jonathan Goke. But, I didn't see any actual contact. Goke got the run on him, but I think we might have had a little bit of that disastrous net code there, Sue.
Yeah, it was pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, and from that angle, you don't actually see it, but from another angle, we might get a better idea. There's actually not any contact. It's what we'd probably call a zero contact, but it does send George Adams around and damages that car pretty heavily. Here's the good news. Just about everybody gets around that, I think, unscathed.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody sent in their RSVP because I think the pit party is about to open up. One more replay. We're going to go on board. On board with Linthman and the first medical equipment on board camera. And he sees the smoke and he keeps it going straight. Well, Sean, we are definitely in the pit window now.
Yeah.
If possible, some of these guys who pitted recently may not need to come in. I don't see the point of that. I think we're going to see the entire lead lap guys come in.
I think that's a safe bet. Unless you are just, again, stuck to your strategy and you think you've got a couple laps to play with here because of the caution and another possible caution, but boy, I don't know, 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel to take me all the way to the end, no doubt. I like that chance.
Although if you're one of the guys at the very back, like maybe the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, maybe he stays out, he can pick up about 30 spots. First car staying out, looks like it is Dave Barber. Guitar players. I know, honey, I told you I wouldn't. I tell you, they're troublemakers.
Well, first of all, they can't read sheet. So there's the problem.
That's it.
Sight reading ability just horrendous. I don't know. Where else do I go with it?
Yeah, probably a spreadsheet as well if he's using like any type of program to figure out the fuel. He's staying out.
He's going to follow the breadcrumbs to the finish line here, Soup.
He's been out for 9 laps. Now, it looks like the first car out is going to be Ian Adams. Of all the guys who came in, he's going to be, I think, in 9th position. Stouffer out as well. These are the drivers who did not come in. Micus, Branch, Bolster, Collins, Mercer, Edwins. I know Edwins is definitely going to have to come in. And I called it. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, stays out.
Yeah.
I guess if there's one more yellow, they can probably go from here. They certainly would be good under one more yellow. Can they go all the way under green? We'll find out. Welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel and the Lionheart IndyCar Series. They always put on a good show.
In the DirtyBlinds.com 300 a night, the first jewel.
That's right.
In the Triple Crown, sir.
My first job was actually cleaning blinds.
Seems I remember that, Sue.
That's right.
Hey, you know what? I feel horrible. I forgot to mention it this evening.
Yeah.
We still have cars cycling in here. We've got a few cars dropping in now for more pit stops. And but you know what? I would be a total failure as a broadcaster if I didn't mention that the Lionheart IndyCar Series has their own app. Yes, on your phone, your Android-based phone, go to the Google Play Store. Just look up Lionheart IndyCar Series. You can pick up their app, Soup. The app's got everything on it. The schedule, the links to the broadcast, the race results, the series results for not just the Lionheart IndyCar Series, but for the Retro Series, the L79 Series as well. Lots of great things in the app there. You got to get that in the Google Play Store. Again, just look up Lionheart. You could probably just put Lionheart in, and I think it comes up. And did I mention it's free? It's free, Sue.
Well, that sounds like it's worth it then.
It's definitely worth it. Absolutely. I have it on my phone.
You know what? I also did a little research here, as we like to do on GSRC. Went in and checked a little bit about DirtyBlinds.com. You know, they're not just a company to come and get your blinds cleaned. They'll get you set up to start your own business. I was really excited. If you're looking for some interesting business opportunities, go to DirtyBlinds.com.
Soup, I've cleaned some blinds before, but I can honestly tell you I have no desire to ever do it again. I'll be calling Dirty Blinds next time. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's not funny.
Well, if you use their new technology, see, you got to find their technology. It looks cool. They got like this stuff you spray on there, and then they got this sonic cleaner. I was digging it. But right now, the guy who does not want it to be clean is Dave Barber. He's looking for one more yellow flag, I think, to get to the end. He is your leader right now. Working lap number 95 when they go green. It is Dave Whammy Barber. Takes him across in the lead. Driving deep into corner number 1. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was going to say they're scrambling. Everybody's scrambling here.
Dave Barber in the Lock Precision Machine out in front, being chased down by another sponsor. It's Bob Micus in the Von Hansen's Meat car. Von Hansen Meat sponsors the pre-race show. Lock Precision sponsoring the post-race show, and right now they're out in front. If you want to do well here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, find a segment to sponsor on our broadcast. Joe Branch gets around Scott Bolster for 3rd position.
On board with the Bob Micus and the Von Hansen's Meat Market camera there. Getting full view of what's going on here up front.
Just don't know if there's enough petroleum in the car to get him to the end, and I'm talking Barber and Micus. Branch as well. These guys are all going to be short. The guy that we know that can get there is running back in 5th position. He had an incredibly fast pit stop. He got out first out of all the guys, and of course I'm talking about Ian Adams. And here comes Ian right now on the hunt, looking to see if he can get up here. Bolster trying to find a way around. It's going to be 3 wide. That's Branch in the yellow on the outside. Bolster tucks back in behind Branch. Adams ducks down into 1. He's going to sit it out, I think, and wait. No, Soup. He's going to get that. He almost runs up into the back of Branch. He has to whoa it up. That's going to let the car of Bolster get back around the inside of him. I would like to tell Edom, you don't need to be so aggressive. I don't think the guys in front of you can stay out.
Oh boy, and Bolster almost clips him there as he moves up behind him. Now Adams getting the run off the turn. Boy, Adams, you know, who knew that Adams would be here at the end of this race after having trouble early, Soup, and wrecking the car. All systems go now.
Other guys that we know that can go the distance running in 6 is Big Joe Hassard, Chris Stouffer, and Andrew Kinsella. They are good to go. Likewise is Dan Guerin. Right now they're fighting to lead that group. But meanwhile, Barber and Micus are out in front, distancing themselves 0.6 of a second. Now Ian Adams has got around the 2 guys, Branch and Bolster. So now Ian Adams sets his sight on the 2 leaders. It's the Lock Precision car. It's the Von Hansen meat car, and we have a...
Big Joe Hassard just disconnected, Soup.
No!
He just reappeared on the track, but he disappeared from the track. Yeah, he's still out of there. Oh, wow. Bad break for Big Joe Hassard.
Come back, Joe.
Quick.
Listen to Carol Ann. Don't go to the light. Come back, but I guess it's too late.
Yeah, everybody to see. Trying to just be aware and make sure his car doesn't pop back on track somewhere, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point. I think he lost total connection there, Sue.
Tie a rope around him and pulling through the living room ceiling. There's time. He's gone to the twilight zone. That's crushing for Big Joe Hassard.
Well, we did say, you know, before this race started, he had a little bit of trouble with that connection, took an EOL for it, and it's come back and bit him, unfortunately.
But if it's going to bite you, couldn't it bite you early so you don't have to put up with the disappointment?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back up front. It is still the Lock Precision car of Dave Barber out in front of the Von Hansen meat machine of Bob Micus. But here he comes with vengeance in his mind. It's Ian Adams. He's hungry. He has visions of the lead. He knows he can go the distance from here. He does not need to come in again, and he is fast. He dives to the inside. He makes short work of the Von Hansen machine. No!
Ooh.
Fighting back on the outside is Bob Micus.
Bobby fighting back really hard there.
Stouffer and Bolster back in a battle. Now we go back up to 3rd position. This time trying it on the top side is Adams. And he has a run. He's going to get it done before he even gets in there. He gets 1, and now he has visions of getting the lead. Not going to happen. We ride on board with Ian Adams. Racing in the Wrangler machine.
Soup, is that your wife on the side of the car? I'm just curious.
Oh.
It's a lovely looking
from a few decades ago, perhaps, yeah.
She's probably sitting in her chair blushing right now.
All right, well, Dave Barber has lost his friend. He was racing back there with Bob Micus, but now, can you hear the Jaws theme? Da-da, da-da, da-da. Here comes Ian Adams. He's got all the fuel he needs. Only thing between him and the lead.
Is it possible Barber is in the lead, writing his next great opus?
Oh, we have Blumenthal. Blumenthal is up in the wall, but he keeps it going straight. I don't think we're going to get a yellow.
Boy, no, he kept it off the track. Oh, and the yellow's out.
Now it comes out.
Oh, man. Yeah, I guess it was when he came back down.
Yeah.
across the track is probably why it came out, but
Yeah, he kept it pointed in the right direction for a long time, but I can't imagine the car must have been impossible to steer.
well, Vince does a good job of keeping it out of the traffic, but unfortunate that we got that caution flag here, Sue. He might have had some sort of a failure there. I mean, it didn't look like his hands moved to turn in.
Well, his misfortune is Dave Barber's good fortune, as that certainly will help out Whammy Bar, as he's going to be able now, certainly, we would think, to go the distance. He's on a 20-lap stint. He needs to go another 16, but this yellow flag has got to help that out. Barber in first. Adams in second. Adams probably did not want to see that yellow flag, as he had the pace to run away with this thing. Good news for the Von Hansen meat machine. Bob Mike is now probably able to go the distance. Stouffer, Bolster, good news for him. Kinsella, Guerin, Branch. Any one of these guys could win it. Goke, Mercer. We can announce that we do have a correct answer for the trivia question. We will announce the answer and the winner at the very end of the show. Stick around for that. Sean, I don't think anybody's going to be coming in. Let's see if I know what I'm talking about.
It's going to be important to hold position here. I think you want to keep that spot. We'll see a couple drivers maybe bring it down.
Whoa, Bolster just playing around. Fooled absolutely nobody except the commentator. Guys from the back that Joe Branch, Goke, and Mercer coming in. And Branch was running in about 11th, actually 9th when he decided to come in. So I guess it wasn't a certainty. My goodness. He's going to have a lot of cars to get through now. How many cars are on the lead lap, Joe? You're going to be back there in about 23rd.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they're running out of laps. It's going to be tough to battle back from there. But, Soup, maybe being towards the back of this thing, not a bad idea. They're going to be scrambling awful hard here up front. It would be a shame to see what's been a really great race disrupted by a few more yellows here. Everybody been pretty committed to this race this evening. I think we're going to see a good run here, but they make their way around in fine fashion here. All of the leaders, as we said, decided to stay out. Going to run what you got here to the end. We'll probably get restarted with 14 to go. The lights are still on that pace car, so I think they'll go around one more lap, and we'll have 14 to go to get restarted here at Pocono Raceway. In what has been what could be a much longer race right now has not been that bad. I love these Triple Crown races, and when you up the ante and double everything up, and you include cash and prizes to your drivers. A little bit of incentive to run harder over these longer distances. It's also a good opportunity to scout endurance drivers if you've got an endurance race team. When you look at these 300-mile races, Soup, you want guys that can be in the seat for a while.
I already put in my notice to GSRC. Of course, the next Triple Crown race will not be on a Wednesday night. It'll be the Indy 500s, the only race that we race on a Sunday. It's a full distance Indianapolis 500. I've sent in my notice to GSRC that I want to be there for that one. We're going to schedule around it. Can't wait for that one. And then the final Triple Crown back in Fontana, the season ender.
Soup, I'm excited.
Love the Lionheart IndyCar Series.
Could be the last green flag we see.
Now, usually, Sean, before we go to green here, usually it's lap 5 is the point of no return. I'm not going to call that so quickly here today. I think it's possible that we have the yellow flag come out on lap 5. We still may be able to have a one-lap sprint here, as these laps are so long, and it seems like iRacing has let them get going after 4. So If we do get one, hopefully we can go green from here, though, Sean. Right now, Dave Barber, Ian Adams, Bob Mikas, Stouffer, and Scott Bolster, your leaders.
Well, Soup, they head through turn 2. Dave Barber with a chance to get a big win here tonight. The Lock Precision driver. He's been good. He's going to have to be a little bit better right here, though. Ian Adams, Bob Mikas, Chris Stouffer, they're not going to give him anything. As we make it through turn 3, Soup, let's get this party started, buddy. It's time to boogie. The Mustang going to peel off right here. There goes Dave Barber, foot on the hammer. Your leader into turn 1. Here we go, Soup. Big party.
Barber leads them down. Ian Adams trying to fend him off. Look at this. Mikas on the top side. They touch. That's Stouffer touching Mikas. Mikas gathers it up. 2 cars were similarly painted. That was Mikas on the top side. Everything's good. Now here comes Stouffer trying to fight on the inside of Adams. A battle for second. Stouffer falling back into the clutches of one of the fast drivers all race. That is Andrew Kinsella. Kinsella going to make quick work of Stouffer right now, moving up into 4th position. Stouffer continues to drop. Here comes Kinsella now, gobbling up the car in 3rd. Going through the middle is Kinsella.
And Kinsella and Bolster made slight contact there. Bolster was able to save it soon. Wow, Kinsella is really running now. Holy moly.
Barber, he's been out in front for a while. The car has pace. The car has fuel. And the car has a driver. Can he stay out in front of Ian Adams? Adams seems to be a little bit faster. Look at the line that Barber is taking. Weaving back and forth like a loom. Adams can't find the draft. Now they come out of 3. Getting in the wall was Kinsella, but he keeps the foot to the throttle. Taking the tight line in is Adams. Forcing Kinsella to go high. Adams protecting the inside. Now doing the T-Berry shuffle, coming underneath is Adams, is Kinsella. Back behind him, Bolster and Stouffer. They get close, and it looks like Bolster's going to have the run from the inside. Spin back behind. We'll see if we can find it.
Michael Gray. Michael Gray.
No caution.
We'll do a quick replay here. But Michael Gray saves the car. Has big trouble.
Got it gathered up, keeps going straight.
Back up to the front.
They are working with 11 to go. It's the blue and yellow machine, the Wrangler car. But Ian Adams, he's out in front of Kinsella. Both these guys now are going to have to work together, as pulling away is Dave Barber by 7.5 tenths of a second.
He's checking out on these boys. Go, Dave.
They come across working now. 10 to go.
Look at the battle for 5th. Bolster trying to hold off Dan Guerin. Bob Mikas right there in their mirror.
That's the yellow car of Dandy Dan Guerin on the top side. Bolster gets in front of him and closes the door like Queen Elsa on her coronation. Guerin trying to find a way around. Bob Mikas and the Von Hansen meat machine trying to find a way on the inside. This battle going on for 5th. Meanwhile, there's a battle for 2nd. Ducking to the inside now. That's very close, but he can't get the run as Kinsella. Momentum from the top side from Adams. Meanwhile, out in front, cooking with hot fish grease, is Dave Barber. They continue, they touch. There goes Adams into the wall. They got together with Kinsella. There's the caution.
And that's the caution. Oh, and he collected George Adams. Ian collects George Adams as he slid down the track. A bunch of cars get caught up behind that there, Soup. Let's look at it on the replay. You see the contact. Adams up into the wall. And there's George Adams, just nails him T-bone there. Both cars spinning back up into traffic. A lot of cars collected, Soup, with just 9 laps to go.
Here we look at it. Kinsella and Adams have been smoking on the Hindenburg for at least 4 laps.
Yeah, let's look at it from George Adams' view here. He's just got nowhere to go here. On board here with George Adams. The NTT Data DW12. And right there. Yeah, just, again, absolutely nowhere to go.
Well, this gives us a second to catch our breath.
I don't think anybody really wanted to see that caution flag, to be honest with you. I think most of your field have been content to run it out to the checkers. Advantage Dave Barber, though. He got a great restart last time, Soup, and he's going to get it to restart it for the point again. I do not expect to see anybody here up in the top 10 come into the pit here at this point.
Why don't we go ahead and put the camera on our featured driver for a minute, Patrick Taylor. Started in 39th, has worked his way up, I'm going to say, 20 positions in 19th.
Yeah, and unfortunate for him, I don't think he'll be our featured driver next week, Soup. Patrick having a good run here. I'd say 20 spots. Definitely a great day at the track.
A lot of the drivers superstitious about being the featured driver. It hasn't really fared well for drivers so far this season. Good to see that superstition broken. I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious.
Soup, you spotted anybody at the track today?
Oh, this is big time. Let's go ahead and look and see if we have any celebrities here today. I think we'll see if Amjad usually can find somebody to look at it. Who is that, Sean? Who's there?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're all going to be like 3 little Fonzies here. And what's Fonzie like, Soup? Come on, Soup. What's Fonzie like?
Cool. Don't make me say what.
It's Samuel L. Jackson hanging out in the crowd today here.
Good to see Samuel here.
Sans the kilt. So doing us all a favor, dressed up for the event. Yes, and if no one's ever seen the film with Samuel L. Jackson where he's wearing a kilt, it's called Formula 51.
Okay.
And the reason he took the picture was, hey, I get to run around Ireland with golf clubs and a kilt. How much better can it be?
Did you notice how well dressed Samuel was coming to the race?
Yeah. I mean, he's looking pretty dapper for an IndyCar race.
Right in there with the guy with the beer belly and the t-shirt. Yeah, it looked good in his tux. All right. I guarantee you that there is no other broadcast company that would do the research we do to find those celebrities. Thanks for iRacing for sneaking that in there.
You never know who's going to turn up.
You never know.
Yeah.
All right,
I think we might have to keep checking that from race to race soon.
Well, Sean, we got 7 to go. I let you call the last start. I was hoping that maybe you'd give us some good luck and we could go green. That's not going to happen.
Absolute failure on my behalf, Sue.
So here's the deal. The lights are off. 6 to go right now. It'll be 5 laps, 12 and a half miles of racing. Dave Barber out in front. Very much we think that if a yellow were to come out, Dave Barber might be able just to limp that car around. But behind him is one of the drivers I think that has been the fastest all race, and that is in that kind of a gray, cool car there with Jim Beam on the back. We're talking about your points leader. Rookie of the season, Andrew Kinsella. Have a catch just ahead of Chris Stouffer. Stouffer has also been fast. And then Dave and Penny's baby boy back there in fourth, Dan Guerin. Any one of these guys, right, Sean?
Yeah, really any one of these guys, but Dave Barber is going to be the first one at the front of this field. He's going to have to defend for 5 laps. Can he do it?
Keep in mind that one of the front runners, Jake Wright, had trouble early. He's nowhere to be found as he's going to finish way down the list. It's going to be a drop race for Jake.
Somebody just said something pretty funny in the chat, Soup, about, they love the passion of this. And then someone else came back and made the comment, yes, cars are fake, passion is real.
Cars are fake, passion is real.
Or no, I'm sorry, the racing is real.
It doesn't. Passion is real too. It doesn't cost you any money and you don't end up in the hospital, but you do spend a lot of time. And sometimes that's just as painful. The time wasted practicing and then it goes south on you. Well, here we go. 12.5 miles of racing. Pace car pulls in. It's the guitar player, Dave Barber, and Sean called it. My goodness, he is out like a shot.
Yeah, and his last restart was that good. That's going to leave Kinsella back there to deal with Stouffer. Those two are going to fight it out. Dave's going to keep running, keep digging Dave. You can see him already trying to break the draft of these guys, too. He's moving through different lines here on the speedway. Stouffer, though, getting a run.
Stouffer underneath Kinsella, and now with a shot at Barber. The 3 cars have pulled away. It's a long way back to Garrett and Micahs and Lincoln back there in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Our focus is on the front right now. Dave Barber comes across, 10 miles to go from here, 4 laps. Barber moves to the inside, moves to the outside, trying to break the draft. He's going to hug the inside like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms. Making a move on the outside now is Stouffer, but it's not going to work. Let's see what kind of run he can get off of 2. Limpkeman, Limpkeman is in the wall, but he keeps it going straight. He banged it off the wall.
Yeah, he did.
Came across right in front of Goke.
Go, go, go.
They keep going, and now there is a fight for the lead. And sure enough, we have a new leader. It is Chris Stouffer has got ahead of Barber, but he's brought along Kinsella, and there's a new friend. Here comes Dandy Dan Guerin in 4th, watching the whole thing. They race in diamond formation right now. Barber trying to go to the top side. He bangs it off the wall. Kinsella on the inside. Protecting right in the middle, taking his half right out of the middle is Stouffer. 3 to go.
There's Dave. There's Dave making his run.
Barber now moves in and he takes over the lead. Here comes Stouffer back on the inside. They touch. Oh. It's over. Barber is loose. He's into the wall. The leader is Stouffer. Kinsella is in 2nd. I'm sorry, Dave. I did not want that to happen from Stouffer. The axe forgets, the tree remembers.
Yeah, it's going to be just that slight bit of contact, but it causes wheel hop with both race cars. And it's going to be poor Dave Barber that winds up there in the wall. Almost, Dave. Almost. A couple other cars will catch him as he's coming through. We're right on board with Kinsella. He had the best seat of the action. Oh, and just makes it by.
One more time as we look at, we're going to go on board this time with, let's try the yellow car in the back. Let's try, well, that's all right. We'll just watch here. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it certainly is. A lot of your leaders lucky to get by there.
Have we looked at that one from the blimp? Did we have time to see one more? Okay, we did. All right. Well,
man, I'm bummed out for Dave Barber. I hate that his racing was having ended like that.
Definitely sad for Barber. I'm not even sure that. I think Stouffer feels bad about it. Kinsella as well. Probably the only happy person about it is my ear, nose, and throat doctor.
You know, I want you to look at who's going to finish 10th here. It's Michael Goodman. He caught the end of that wreck. Soup. I'm glad we're not going back to racing for his sake. Although, on our camera here, you're seeing just a little bit of damage. On my camera, I'm seeing no front end on that car. So,
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty well damaged too.
Let's look at that on board with Michael Goodman here. See the replay from behind the wheel here with him. And he is just barely going to make it through this, and then doesn't. Oh. Yeah. There's a good shot for you, folks. Thanks to the great W. Beard for bringing that from the driver's seat and Amjad driving us through there.
Well, unless Chris Stouffer has totally miscalculated his fuel, he should be able to bring this in now. Stouffer, Kinsella, Guerin, Goke, and hey, how about the Von Hansen meat machine up there in 5th?
Yeah, Soup, you look at the top 10, really the top 15 littered with guys that came from the back of this field to have really, really solid runs tonight. And hey, congratulations to them. This was a tough race, a bit of a grind, but certainly a good race. And that last incident there, tough to call it. I don't think there was anything intentional. It's just good, hard racing, Soup, and I'm never opposed to that. Going to be a big night for Stouffer, though. The Indiana driver coming here to Pocono. The next Triple Crown event, Soup, will be in Indiana.
Here we go, and coming across the line. Give the checker break, Chris Stouffer. Kinsella gets second, Guerin third. Jonathan Goke fourth, Bob Mike is fifth, and the hard charger Scott Bolster 35th to 6th, up 29 spots. Congratulations to Scott. Congratulations to all these drivers finishing tonight's Soup here in the DirtyBlinds.com 300. What we're going to do now, you've been watching GSRC's coverage of what Sean just said, the DirtyBlinds.com 300. And while the racing is over here in the Keystone State, our broadcast is not. We're going to take a short break, but we'll return shortly to launch into the Lock Precision Rocketry post-race show, where we'll run down the complete finishing order, talk to the drivers, and check with Crackers to see if anyone on the YouTube chat has the correct trivia answer. Enjoy the HPP commercial, no clicking. welcome back to the wooded hills and valleys of the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, home to the Tricky Triangle, as we launch into the Lock Precision Rocketry post-race show. Soup and Crackers here to review the DirtyBlinds.com 300 that you just saw here on the Global Sim Racing channel. And you know, the Lionheart IndyCar Series has raced here each of its 5 seasons, but for over 30 years, the name Lock Precision has been synonymous with mid to high-powered rocketry. Lock Precision manufactures a full line of high-quality precision fit components to meet your building, repairing, and customizing needs. For more information, please visit www.lockprecision.com. Okay, your finishing order. Chris Stouffer and Andrew Kinsella, Dan Guerin make up your podium. Jonathan Goke, Bob Mikas go 4th and 5th. Scott Bolster, we talked about him, the hard charger, 35th to 6th. Congratulations. Ron Hacker, Pierre Neidendegla in 8th position. Ryan Otis, 9th. And rounding out your top 10, another rookie, Michael Goodman. Sean?
Yes, sir. And you're going to go to 11th. You're going to find Chris Lanini there on 11th place finish tonight. But Patrick Taylor, how about this dude? Up 27 spots to find 12th tonight. Great run for Patrick. Not bad for our featured driver of the week, Joe Branch. Going to finish 13th this evening. Travis Jagerliner, another guy who had a great run. He was up 26 spots, Soup. He'll finish 14th. Dustin Wardlow, right where he started. I think he'll take that tonight, actually. Rory Collins, 16th place finish tonight. The Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray, 17th. George Ansaldo, 18th. He survived. Matthew Mercer going to be 19th tonight, and Tony Showen up 17 spots to get that 20th spot away.
Hidden Blackjack, Jack Bogan in the double duck position, James Krahula. These guys are all one lap down. I can't believe there is sympathy coming for a guitar player, but you're not a human being if you don't feel bad for Dave Barber. Leading for the last part of the race, got together. He's going to... What was going to be a win is going to end up 23rd. Big Joe Hasser, 24th. Brandon Linkeman and Brian Yosick, 25th and 26th. Robert Bluen, George Adams, and Ian Adams go 27th through 29th. And rounding out the top 30 is Peter Edwins. Sean?
All right, drop the 31st. It's going to be Vincent Blumenthal, 31st. Tyler Turnbull, 32nd. Trevor Bissett, 33rd. Ed Tutwiler, 34th. Early exit for him. Tough night for Ed. Michael Peters, 35th. Mitchell Moeller, 36th tonight. Brian Greenlee, his first night on track with the Lionheart IndyCar Series, and that's a tough break for him. He'll finish 37th. 38th, going to go to Jake Wright. Wow, the champ having another rough night. James Paulson, 39th. Jared Turnbull, 40th. And Jason Galvin going to be the first car out this evening. What a tough break for the man from KGET. We'll see him in the morning on TV.
And there you have it. Did that round us up? Yeah, that got through all 41. Okay, well, let's go ahead and talk to our race winner here. We're going to talk to Chris Stouffer. Now, when you're farther down the point standings, one of the best ways to get up there is to go ahead and pick up a win at a double points paying race, and that's what Chris Stouffer did right now for Adrenaline Motorsports. Chris, I know you didn't want it to end that way, but you guys aren't driving to the store for milk.
Yeah, that's true. It was tough to win that way after such a good race. I know Dave was up there and had a lock on the field before that last caution came out, and I know he didn't want to see that caution. And for it to end like that, I really feel bad for the guy, especially that, I'm in here talking to you, and unfortunately he took a tow home.
Yeah, actually, I thought the same thing when that last caution came out. I thought he really had that before that. Looked like he was going to be able to take that home. He had the lead. How did your car feel? Did it change much from the beginning of the run to the end of the run?
It did. I short-filled it the last 2 stops there because when it got real light on fuel, it did want to get a little bit loose. So I figured if I took a little less fuel, then I want to get to that point with the tires, and kind of worked out.
Well, I thought the racing was good. If you were going to was it the high side or the low side? It didn't matter. It's just whatever lane was open to make a pass?
Personally, I would have preferred the high side. that's just where I typically like to get my passing done, especially here, because you can get a good run off the corner, and you usually have to lift on the inside. So yeah, I'd usually pick the high side, but in this instance, like you saw, I had a good run on him, so I went low, and unfortunately it looked like a little net code, but I'm not even going to say that because unfortunately he didn't get the finish.
These series organizers are on the West Coast. Where are you from in the United States?
Indianapolis.
Oh, so it's getting late. Midnight where you are right now?
1 o'clock, actually.
1 o'clock. All right. Well, then let's make it a short interview. Get some sleep. Have a good day and work tomorrow, and we'll catch you next time around.
All right. Thank you very much.
Chris Stouffer, your winner today. 1 o'clock in the morning in Ohio. Sean, who you got to talk to in second place?
You know what? I've got his Adrenaline Motorsports teammate, Andrew Kinsella, with the big second place finish this evening. The current points leader does, I guess, what you need to, Andrew, to stay at the top of this thing. Great run tonight.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, what was it like out there on track? There was a lot of slicing and dicing going on throughout the entire race. What was it like out there for you?
Oh, man, it was wild out there. I tried to stay out of it as much as I could, sort of hanging back from the harder battles, but by the end, you just had to go for it. And once I got into the top 5 there, it was a matter of trying to maximize the points for the double points.
Well, big night for Adrenaline Motorsports. You've certainly got to be happy for the team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The whole team, and I want to say I feel really sorry for Michael Peters because he's just had no luck this season, but he's been much faster than his results have shown. But the whole team tonight worked really well together. We somehow all got on a separate strategy, and to have two of us come back and be right at the front in 1-2 is just great.
Yeah, Andrew Soup here. I wanted to ask you about the early pit stop strategy. It looked like you had visions of maybe going 30, 60, 90, doing it with 3 stops. Was that kind of the plan early on?
To be honest, because Pocono is the way it is, you can pit and still stay on the lead lap. So our goal was to stay out front whenever possible, and so that sort of coincided with the 30, 60, 90, but basically on my first pit stop I actually short filled to about 15 gallons. So from there on I was just looking for ways to stay out in front of the field and always have one of the fastest cars on the track, which was, I think, the key to the strategy for me today.
Wow, it's frightening. That's exactly how we called it. We thought you were one of the fastest cars, and we thought that you wanted to stay out front. Hey, second place. You haven't. That's a good finish. You had the win at Daytona to start off, or Homestead to start off, and now this one. Good job on a double points race.
Thanks, Soup.
Andrew Kinsella, our second place driver here today. Sean, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk to our third place finisher.
All right, Dan Guerin teeing him up right now. Dan, you spent a lot of this night up front. You also spent some of the night battling, but you and your teammate, Jonathan Goke, find your way up here at the front during the end and nailed it. Pretty good night.
Not a bad night there. Fortunately, Ian had that late race incident and took him out of contention, but it was a long race for me. I was up front there with the boys, and I'm not sure what happened on that restart. I don't even remember who I got into, turned him. I figured I had wing damage, so I pitted, exited the pit when it was closed, had to drop to the back, then had to work my way all the way back up. So getting third, I will take that.
Soup just checking in, want to know if Dave and Penny have gone to bed, or are they still up watching Soup? Dan?
I'm actually just texting my mom right now. Hi, Mom.
Soup, you want to give a shout out to Mom?
Hi, Penny. It's bedtime now. Put on your PJs.
Well, Dan, always great to get a podium finish in these Triple Crown races. I know you probably wanted a little bit more and would have preferred to get the win, but talk about what the momentum of finishing on a podium on a race like this means for the rest of the season right now.
Oh, it's definitely a big old confidence boost right there. Cordy was in my ear the whole time trying to keep me calm down. It's not pack racing, but off the restarts it is. And you just have to watch every little thing and try to get that run. If you have to lift, they're going to pass you. But Texas next week, that should be a fun one.
Texas next week, and that's going to be redemption there, right?
That's going to be a little bit of redemption. Yes, it is. Last year's did not go as planned.
Hey, okay, now I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question before I let you go here, because you brought up Texas. I'm curious, would you like to see iRacing redo Texas, or would you like them to leave it as is? What do you think about the new configuration down there at Texas Motor Speedway?
It's a little different. It's really, really wide. They can redo it if they want to. Not going to bother me in one way, shape, or form.
All right, sounds good. Racers just want to race, and you don't care what the track is like. I got you.
Yep. Just want to give a quick shout out to Dave Barber too. He was having a fantastic race there. I was pulling for him on that one. Had the new paint job for him, the LOC Precision car going for it, and hope I made him proud at least.
Well, I think you did. I think Dave's going to be pretty happy with that. And Dan, we thank you, my friend, and we'll see you next week at Texas Motor Speedway for the big race there. And again, congratulations tonight, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Soup. I think that about clears everybody out at this point.
All right, we go through the housekeeping here and then give the trivia answer at the very end. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Of course, I'm talking about the guys at First Medical Equipment. For more information, please visit firstmedequipment.com. Also, how about giving some thanks to HPP Simulations? What a great commercial we run. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing. Designed and manufactured in the United States of America on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit, you guessed it, hppsimulation.com.
Soup.
I want meat. I want meat, buddy.
And Soup, I'm going to give it to you. One thing we always want to do is remember Von Hansen's Meats for sponsoring the Countdown to Green, the new old-fashioned meat market and butcher shop. We also want to thank Lock Precision Rocketry, Dave Barber's great company there, for sponsoring the post-race shows Fly Hard, Fly Safe, Fly Lock. We also want to thank everyone at the Lionheart IndyCar Series for organizing the series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. And special thanks tonight goes to Pete Edwins and DirtyBlinds.com for sponsoring this great race tonight.
Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music you heard on today's broadcast, so thanks to Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Lion IndyCar Series will return in 1 week. Yes, 1 week, May 10th. For the Texas 200. GSRC will be there, and we hope you join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, and we'll come right up there for you.
And as promised, here's the answer to the Round 7 trivia question. Be it USAC kart or IndyCar, which driver owns the most open-wheel wins at Pocono? And, of course, the answer is, Sean?
The answer would be the great AJ Foyt, who I got to spend an afternoon with once, and I would love to tell some of those stories, but I'm forbidden from doing so. But the big winner, Christian Valerian Steele, was the first to answer correctly of many correct answers that we got.
Christian used to race in the series, not racing with us now, but still watching. Great to see you. Good luck, Christian. Thanks for watching. Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you and Sanya L. Jackson for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.